On Monday, the Norwood Police and Fire received an emergency 911 shortly after 11 a.m., reporting an ammonia leak at Home Market Foods, a food processing facility on Morgan Drive. Fire Chief David Hayes updates NCM on the situation.
So Monday morning about 11:10, we got a call over the radio. We got a report of an anhydrous ammonia leak with casualties. They reported, actually the caller reported one injury and possibly one death already. Highly unusual to get that call that soon. We knew it was significant. Violated my own personal protocols. I called for the hazmat team while we were en route before anybody got there. We got there. I ordered nobody into the building, knowing what we had, knowing what the chemical is, how it responds to water and weather and people. It's basically it's a corrosive. The pH of probably 12. The scale goes from 0 to 14. A fairly significant chemical. So I didn't want the guys inside. I didn't want to lose more people trying to recover somebody who was probably, in my professional judgment, not recoverable. Because we called for the hazmat team fairly quickly, I was on scene for probably 10 or 15 minutes. We were still gathering the basic information, assessing the situation. The crews were around the back of the building where the leak was, trying to assess it also. The first couple hazmat techs came. They dressed in suits. They tried to make entry. Were forced back by the amount of chemical and a lack of visibility in the area and their lack of knowledge of the equipment area where the leak happened. They backed out. We ventilated. The company complied with us. They did great work. Home Market Foods. They reversed the ventilation system in the building, started sucking the ammonia vapors out. Not a terrible concern environmentally for us. The weather was perfect for, I hate to say that, the weather was perfect for this kind of thing. The wind was blowing the right direction. It was blowing into the woods. There was no life hazard. And ammonia vapors tend to want to rise. So we had a pretty stiff wind. It was mixing it up coming out of the stack, and we felt pretty good that we didn't have any downrange concerns. We didn't have a liquid release. Nothing really left the building beyond vapors. And I think that's important for the public to know that, as I said, the vapors want to rise, they get up, they mix up in the wind. The wind was perfect for us again. So there is no hazard to the public. There was no hazard to the public. If there was, we would have been on the emergency notification type things, letting people know. Once we got the room ventilated, we could see the victim on the floor, not moving. The hazmat technicians removed the victim, and he was deceased. Before that happened, we were up on the roof with the HVAC technicians, the refrigeration people from the company. Went up over our ladder. We were shutting off valves on the outside, valves that we had hoped would solve the leak. It did not. We went back, and there is no safe way to send somebody inside and say, hey, it's still leaking. We didn't want to expose people to that. Like, as I said, very corrosive chemical. So our methodology was close some valves, wait a few minutes, see if the levels decrease. The levels weren't decreasing. A couple hours later, we called the ladder back to the scene, put some more guys on the roof with more refrigeration technicians all geared up for safety, and they went up and closed some more valves. At that time, the facility was vacant. We had searched the entire building, found there was nobody left inside. We contacted the security company for the Home Market Foods. They locked all the doors so that nobody, not even key holders, could get in. And we secured the scene for the night, hoping that the ventilation system would run overnight and clear the air. Noontime Tuesday, we went back with another Tier 1. A Tier 1 hazmat response is 5 guys in a truck. They do the initial investigation, and we decide on resources. So we had a Tier 1 response at noontime. We had an agreed upon meeting time after giving significant time for the room to vent. We met there at noon. We metered it again. We had levels 500 on the floor, which is still deadly, virtually immediately. 1,000 at 4 feet, 1,600 at 6 feet. Not safe at all. We didn't allow anybody into the building. We activated a Tier 2 hazmat response. The guys came in. They brought a tiny little man lift. They brought all their equipment, suited people up, sent them in. They tried to get those more valves up much higher. They don't want, I guess when the engineers design these systems, they don't want people just turning the valves accidentally, so everything's up 15, 20 feet in the air. So it has to be purposeful. That hindered our response because we had to get up there. And these guys are in like little spacesuits. They're level A suits. They got an air pack on. There's a big bubble around them. And they have to go up and work like that. But we sent our people in along with a couple of certified refrigeration technicians. They made access to the valve, one last valve that was up high, and that seemed to have stopped the leak. We waited an hour yesterday afternoon, right about this time, I guess. We waited about another hour with the room closed up. We went in, reassessed. The levels were down significantly, but not safe. We called it off for the night. We locked the building up and left the ventilation on all night with a good feeling. I actually got to sleep last night. Monday night was pretty sleepless. Just worrying about things that could happen, people going in, this kind of thing. We left when we did leave the building, we left the police in charge and nobody was in or out, so it was monitored. But still, it doesn't make me comfortable. Let it vent overnight. We met there at 8 o'clock this morning. We metered it. It was verified safe in the accident area. And then once we ensured that area was safe, the hazmat team went in and metered the entire building and made sure that was safe. It's all safe. About 9:30 this morning, I turned most of the building back over to Home Market Foods so they can begin their recovery process. I can't even begin to tell you how much food was in process of being made. And when we took over, we stopped their refrigeration system, we stopped their ovens. In mid-process, the people evacuated the building. They did a remarkable job, by the way. Accountability, they knew exactly who they had, they knew exactly who was there. So it worked out very well for us. It's great when we know that going in, that they have all their people. So I turned it back over to them. They're beginning their recovery, and we wish them the best. I mean, it's going to be a significant investigation, of course, with the death and the injury, and we wish them the best.